Now, recently, video has surfaced where Dr. Carson was telling graduates during a commencement address at Andrews University during the late 1990s that he believed the pyramids in Egypt were built by the biblical figure Joseph to store grain.
You know, I think about some of the things that Joseph did as the prime minister of Egypt. You know, here was a man who was basically able to save the entire world with his big thinking. Building grain reserves that would last for 7 years of famine. Can you imagine having the technology, the wisdom, the knowledge to be able to do that? We can't do that now. He was able to do that back then. Now, my own personal theory is that Joseph built the pyramids in order to store grain. Now, all the archaeologists think that they were made for the pharaohs' graves, but, you know, it would have to be something big when you stop and think about it. And I don't think it would just disappear over the course of time to store that much grain. And when you look at the way the pyramids are made, with chambers that are hermetically sealed, they would have to be that way for a reason. And, you know, various scientists have said, well, you know, there were alien beings down and they had special knowledge and that's how they were. You know, it doesn't require an alien being when God is with you. You know, and that's really the key. People may not even be able to explain what it is that you're accomplishing, but they don't have to be able to explain it when God is there.
No, aliens, some people are saying, some scientists are saying aliens came down, and that's ridiculous. No. Jesus. God did it. God did it. Interesting, right? Now you might be thinking, watching this, okay, dude, that's from 1998. How is that relevant today? That's not even fair, right? Bringing this stuff up from the past. What are you thinking, right? Well, CBS News actually caught up with Dr. Carson after this video came out and asked him about it.
It's still my belief, yes.
Can you explain that a little bit more? What was the...
Yeah, well, the pyramids were made in a way that they had hermetically sealed compartments. You wouldn't need hermetically sealed compartments for a sepulcher. Mm-hmm. You would need that if you were trying to preserve grain over a long period of time.
He still believes it. Okay, so let's ignore all the archaeologists. Let's ignore the experts, all the studies, and instead let's go by the book that doesn't really even mention the pyramids. There's very little mention, if at all, of the pyramids in the Bible. Let's also ignore the fact that Egypt did build granaries. They actually built normal granaries. Well, why would you build the pyramid if you already have a granary? I don't understand, right? I don't understand. Now, let's also ignore the evidence and the fact that archaeologists haven't actually found any concrete evidence of the accounts of the Israelites even being in Egypt at all. Much less Egypt feeding the world. Remember, Carson said he saved the world. He saved the world because of Joseph. Joseph saved the world because he saved all the grain in the pyramids. That's insane. That's insane. But even ignoring all that, why does it even matter? You can ask. And that's a good question. I'm going to try to answer that to the best of my ability. Because I think that when you elect a commander-in-chief to lead the wealthiest, most powerful nation on earth with the strongest military, you want to make sure that he or she is living on the same fucking planet as you. And Adolf and Ben Carson land, where going to prison makes you gay, evolution is the devil, and vitamins cure cancer. I'm just saying. This is a guy that doesn't even trust peer-reviewed consensus about subjects like history, archaeology, or climate science. You want this guy making decisions on public policy? Really? Really? No, you want to have a guy who has his head grounded in reality, especially since we are facing some very, very serious issues in the country, especially rapid climate change. Big issue. Look, if you don't understand how dangerous being anti-science and anti-knowledge actually is when it comes to a president, remember how George W. Bush thought that Gog and Magog, because of the Bible, were going to come out of Iraq. And you know what happened? Look, unless you've been living under a rock for the last decade, you know exactly what happened. We ended up invading Iraq and unleashing something even worse than Gog and Magog. Fucking ISIS. ISIS. Stupidity built that. Look, I don't think I'm alone in being afraid for the future of mankind if we let someone like Ben Carson in control of the button. And I think that, to me, that's a scary, scary thought.